y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Big and Blizz podcast, episode 12 to be exact. I'm your host, Blizzy, and across from me is Big Mike, and we just gotta dive into it. Thank you guys as usual, but we're back to motherfucking football. I am so excited. Everybody knows I'm a huge Cowboys fan. I would hope everybody knows this. And the Cowboys played the Canton, Hall of Fame game tonight, and we got smoked, by the Steelers, 16-3. Yeah, it's preseason, but as a fan of, when you're a fan of a team playing and you get smoked, like your thing is, it's just preseason, doesn't matter. But if you're on the other end, the winning end, you're like, yeah, we did that. So, I got to give credit where credit's due, and I've always been one to keep it 1,000. And the Cowboys in the first quarter looked, decent, whatever. Got a field goal. I was like, ooh-wee. We started off in defense, got a fumble recovery, drove down, got a field goal, which is not the best. But after that, the tides turned, and we shipwrecked. So as a Cowboys fan, not too happy about it either way. I'm just happy we have 5 preseason games this season, because that gives all the potential cuts more time to shine and prove themselves. Dak didn't travel with the team or play tonight because he's having lingering shoulder issues, and my wife actually brought up the fact that there's been reports that they think it's bigger than what the Cowboys are reporting, and god damn it, I hope not, because as a Cowboys fan, that's bad news bears for me. But anyways, with that being said, we're back to football, and we will be talking a lot of football this season, because Big Mike and myself are huge diehard football fans. We're fans of all sports, but football is at number one.
Yeah, I saw something the other day that said from this weekend forward, there will be at least one NFL or college game from now until Super Bowl Sunday.
God damn it, Mike. I'm about to cry. I'm so excited. Shit.
So, I mean, if there's no NFL on, you want to catch a college game, if you want football from now until Super Bowl Sunday,
you're getting your fix.
You got football.
Oh, thank you, Jesus.
So that's nice.
But the first story, what are we jumping into? TB12?
Ah, man, this kid, I gotta call him a kid because he's just out here acting like he don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Hold on, happy belated birthday. He just turned
44.
40 motherfucking 4.
I call him a kid and he's old enough to be my dad.
Jesus. 44. Kickers don't even play to 44 usually.
Oh, I know.
That's crazy, but go ahead, babe.
But yeah, so as most of us know, the NFLPA, which is the Players Association, handles all negotiations when it comes to money, deals, whatever, for the whole league. And so this year, the salary cap, which is the total amount of money that a team can spend on their players.
Per average though,
dropped by 20%. The new negotiation dropped 20%.
From what to what?
It dropped from pre-COVID and the last year of football during the COVID time. It was at $198.2 million. On March 10th, just before free agency, the league and NFLPA agreed on a $182.5 million cap for this upcoming season.
That's just wild.
Which is a 20% drop. All while NFL teams' values rose 14%.
What's that? What's the gap?
So the gap, if you think about it, is let's say they were even. If one goes positive 14, the other one drops. That's a 34% change. Even if they weren't even, that's still 34% in the money difference change.
Yeah. So that means that the rich are getting richer, and the players that are, most of them are rich, aren't getting as rich. Does that make sense?
Well, and that's essentially what it looks like. It's an IG, like they took a screenshot of his IG story, and it's
on TV. Tom Brady.
Yeah, Tom Brady, and it's like the article in the background that says Forbes' average value of NFL franchises go up 14%. Despite a revenue drop. So there was a revenue drop.
Because of COVID.
Because of COVID.
Attendance, ticket sales, concessions.
But they still went up in value.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what we were trying to wrap our heads around pre the recording.
Yeah.
Is how was there a spike in value when there was a revenue drop? Because everybody knows that the ratings might have gone up because everybody was stuck at home during the pandemic and COVID, but ticket sales were down obviously, concessions obviously were down, parking, all that shit that everything you would pay for or buy at a stadium to go see a game live was down. The only thing that was up was the ratings. It's weird how.
Well, and maybe that helps with the rest of the story because of that media
You're
deal.
right. You're absolutely right.
And I didn't think about that till just now when you're talking about it. Maybe
yeah, you're right.
That helped with the media deal.
Yeah, because the media deal is fucking ridiculous.
And so on this, he types, the salary cap dropped by 20%, and then the new media deal was announced the day after the salary cap was set.
So break that down. Because the bargaining agreement, what's it called?
The collective bargaining agreement?
For the players, and they have representatives, a player from each team as a representative for the players' union, association, in sense, it's a union. And then they go to whoever the head of the...
There's a head of the union who's not even a player.
Or was he ever?
I don't know. Usually it's like a lawyer or there's a couple lawyers that help head up the legal jargon because most NFL players don't know a bunch of legal jargon. That's why they have agents and lawyers.
Absolutely. And so what you were saying is they came to that collective agreement and signed that contract for what they were demanding or requesting or settled for,
or whatever they agreed upon.
And the very next day, after settling for, you can't say peanuts because
20% less.
Getting paid. Yeah, they're getting paid, but they agreed upon 20% less overall pay per player or whatnot. And the very next day, the
NFL
report came out about how their franchise value went up 14%.
Well, no, the next day the NFL announced their media deal. They signed their media deal.
Yeah. So, but is that coincidental? Do you think they waited to announce that shit after that contract was signed?
Yeah, because if they would have seen this number,
they would have.
If this number would have been public, they would have asked for more.
Absolutely.
And so what he says is, NFL players better wake up. And then it says NFL players are ignorant.
Yeah.
That's what Tom Brady says.
A lot of them are when it comes to money and shit.
And the reason he's saying this is because the day after they agreed to reduce the cap.
Thank you. That's terminology is more understandable.
The day after they agreed to reduce the cap,
salary cap. Yeah.
The NFL signed an 11-year media deal worth $111.8 billion with a B.
Billion. No, shouts Pat McAfee and his crew.
But billion,
That's fucking wild.
Which means this year teams will get $220 million. Each team will get $220 million for the media stuff. And then when this contract ends in 2032, they will be earning $377 million.
So it more than doubles. 188 to 377?
No, 220 to 377.
Okay, I apologize. I misunderstood.
Yes.
But still, that's 150%? No, my math is fucked.
It's like 150 million more.
Yeah, it's a big number. And that's what goes into these guys' salaries, too.
And that's what I'm saying. That's just media.
Media.
Imagine, you work at your job and they're like, hey, just for showing up, you're going to make $30K this year.
Yeah, fuck.
Just for showing up. You ain't even got to work. That ain't even your hours.
You'd be on the bench.
These teams literally could go 0-17 and off of media alone make $220 million.
Yeah, that's fucking wild, dude. Well, everybody likes to see a train wreck, right? Or a car crash.
And so TB's thing is players need to wake up and realize that the NFL and maybe even the NFLPA
He needs to teach a seminar, honestly.
Isn't 100% on the side of the players for making the most money and all that kind of stuff, because the NFL really isn't. And the NFLPA, the more that And I'm not saying they knew. The NFLPA may not have known about the media deal. And they may have. I would hope they didn't, because they're supposed to be there for the best. The NFLPA is supposed to be there for the best interest of the players.
Well, our government's supposed to be here for the best interests of the citizens too. So, you know, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if it came out that the PA representatives or the higher ups were getting kickbacks to basically shut the fuck up and give some janky ass deals to the players. It wouldn't surprise me. I'm not saying it's happening.
You would think that the union would have enough money to do some research and be like, hey, look, they're doing a media deal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because when you do a buyout, like when companies are negotiating buyouts and all this stuff,
they have investigators.
They have investigators that go be like, okay, should I keep pushing hard on the negotiation, or should this be where we're at?
Yeah.
And you would think the PA has enough pull and money.
And the NFL's a Fortune 500 company in a sense, right?
Oh, the NFL. The
not
NFL.
That they're not getting bought out, but yeah, I don't know. Like I said, our government's supposed to be here for the people, of the people, but you know how that works. When there's that much money involved, there's always some shady shit. Like, hands down. That's not even fucking arguable, you know? So, I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if those lawyers or you know, brains that are representing the PA aren't taking kickbacks under the table. You can't tell me a Fortune 500 or a $1 billion company that doesn't have situations like that. There's always some shit. And like, look at the commissioner, Roger Goodell, when he was up for his contract was up and he was negotiating. I think they agreed to something like fucking, he gets like $40 or $50 million a year, and in his negotiations he wanted a private jet for him that he would own. You know what I'm saying? And
that's
never
the case.
have to have a pocket to fly.
And I mean, I pulled it up real fast. The net.
And he's a janky ass fucking commissioner, just like the MLB's commissioner.
Yeah.
They're not. It's not fucking Adam Silver or the ex commissioner of the NBA, David Stern. You know what I'm saying? But sorry, go ahead, Big. I apologize.
The annual revenue under Roger Goodell right now is $15 billion.
Jesus.
And his goal is by 2027
25
to make it $25 billion. And with this new contract, that seems possible.
100%. And he's in bed with all these fucking owners, and the owners are against the players' union as well, the players' association. When you're thinking about the players' union or association having a lock or a standout or like a walkout, what's
a strike.
A strike. Thank you. That is against the owners, and the owners can also do a lockout, which they have done. Like 10 years ago they did, or not even that long. They did a lockout where they locked up the facility and the players weren't allowed to come. And for the big name superstar players, yeah, it's hitting their wallet or whatnot, their bank account, but it's not a big fucking deal. But to mediocre players or lower end players that are making the league minimum or rookies or free agents, it's fucking killing them. So of course they're going to cross a picket line and try to get paid.
Well, I saw this thing. I can't even remember who it was now, but the money thing reminded me. This guy who was drafted by the Miami Dolphins, and he was his story was, when you get drafted in the NFL, everybody thinks you're a millionaire.
Absolutely not.
Instantly.
Yeah.
Instantly. It doesn't matter where you're drafted. In everybody's mind, the second you're drafted to the NFL, you're a millionaire.
Absolutely.
And he said he got drafted, and he wasn't a first-round pick or whatever. I think he was like a second or third-round pick. He got drafted. He needed to move out to Miami.
Yeah, 100%. Get a condo or something.
His mom moved out to Miami. His cousins started moving out to Miami. Like, his aunties and stuff started moving out to Miami.
Yeah, I would have been well, you figure that shit out.
They were all like, let's ride this meal ticket.
Depending on him.
Yeah,
dependent, yeah.
He's like, I didn't want to like buy houses and just give them to my family, because he's like, I knew that wasn't the move. Yeah. Because if we all happy, we all broke.
Yep. At 1,000,000%.
So
that is crazy. That quote right there is fucking so dead on. But yeah.
And so he said what he tried to do is he would buy a house and then rent it to cousin or rent. And he said that didn't go too well either because then they resent you because like they're giving you their money, but you're a rich person, so they shouldn't be giving you their money. Type.
Then you should cut the motherfuckers off.
And so one of the
Easier
guys
said than done.
One of the guys was like, so you had to have a lot of hard conversations and in some relationships.
Yeah.
He's like, I did because he said I knew if I didn't, I would be one of those NFL players that has no money and bankruptcy and all this shit.
Yeah.
So he's like, I had to have a lot of hard conversations, and some people didn't take it very well.
Well, they were never there for you in the first place.
That's the thing and that was the thing is he was like, I got to do what's right for my family and me, and he's like, it's different. He said something along the lines. It's different when it's your mom, like 100%. Your mom, because she's the one who sacrificed for you. If your mom's a good mom, she sacrificed your whole time.
Exactly. She's a good mom, and 100%.
And he's like, but your aunties and stuff, like, they can't all just expect a free meal ride.
Which a lot of them do. A lot of your friends, your homeboys, you know that shit.
And that's when he said that reference where if we all happy, if everybody's happy, then we all broke.
That's true. That's so true. I've never heard it put like that. That's fucking crazy. But that shit happens every day, not just.
Well, look at Allen Iverson.
That's exactly what I was going to bring up. Brought his whole crew of like 15.
So many games.
Every game on the bench in between when he had to, they benched him, let him get his rest, getting his hair braided. Was paying for that female to come style his hair, like to braid it and shit. Like, yeah, that's why.
Imagine, like, I don't get my hair braided, but like I know people that get braided and stuff. Yeah. Like it takes so long. Yeah. Like, was she doing like one braid Like, she got some quick fingers.
Yeah, obviously, he's paying her enough. She's fucking working.
She like
double time. Yeah.
Like she's just out there just like
a sweatshop.
Okay, I got one braid done. Go back in and play some minutes. Let me rest.
A sweatshop tying knots and shit.
Like, because it takes hours sometimes to braid hair.
Yeah, depending on how your hair is, absolutely. That's just crazy. I mean, we both I get my hair cut every 2 weeks. Shout out to Gabe Fontes, best barber.
I try to get there, but
best barber ever. But I mean, with everything, it takes an hour to cut my hair and trim my beard and fucking line me up. That's an hour. Yeah, mind you, like we talk, that's family and shit. But no, best barber ever. If you're not left, reach out to Gabe Fontes. But anyways, so that whole Tom Brady's gassing. He has not. His foot has been on the fucking pedal since he left New England. I think not since he left. Like, he got with Tampa Bay, and it was like feeling. He was cool. It was like one of those kids like Gary Owen in his comedy, in church, the black church. Wait, I can yell. Woo-doo, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was like, wait, I come out my shell like a turtle, poking out, looking around.
He's like, I can say something, and so like he would like say a little something, and then no one would say nothing. And then he say something, he get positive feedback. Ooh, Brady's gassing. Oh shit! This is how I could have been my whole career. Oh fuck it, balls to the wall. Like, whoa, slow you're like, calm your tits, bro. He reminds me of like that mom who had the kid super early, so she didn't get to enjoy her 20s.
Yeah.
And then she gets to 30 when her kid can like go to a babysitter and shit, or stay at home alone, and she just goes balls out partying like. That's what it feels like. He was like strapped down, and then all of a sudden he gets free.
Well, didn't I mention it like a few episodes ago where I was like, he was on the Belichick like a dad, like he was a minor, and then he hit college and was like, ooh, I'm snorting fucking coke off a hooker's ass. Fuck it, a stripper's ass. Like, oh shit, this is all new. And Big, you and I both DJ'd at the local bar, club, whatever you want to call it. How many times did we see those older women that had kids, young, high school moms that were coming out and reliving their fucking 20s in their 30s and 40s.
Yeah.
Every fucking night. That shit was crazy, but
that's what I'm saying. That's what he's like right now.
Yeah. He's like, oh shit, this feels good. I gotta, you know what I'm saying? Like somebody who pops a cherry, loses their virginity, he's like, oh shit, this feels great. I gotta keep going. But yeah, that's crazy. But shout out to Tom Brady. Like, he's the most hated, loved guy in football, obviously. So, but I think you brought up a story earlier about was it the Chiefs and their mascot situation?
Oh, I was gonna say, speaking of hated, before that.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
JT, is it Ibe?
Eby. I believe it's Eby.
JT Eby put a hit on the receiver in practice.
Panthers, right?
Yeah, Panthers.
Okay.
And 90 minutes after the hit happened, was waived by the team.
Yeah, we tried finding videos of that, and big.
They're not great videos.
No, it was
like
the same video.
It looks
one
like
video
cell phone video
of a fan.
and he's like, there's a football field with.
Yeah, the
And
practice one.
there's like 2 practice fields,
Mm-hmm.
and they're literally a whole practice field widthwise away from the.
Seemed like it, yeah.
And from the video,
We slowed it down and replayed and slowed it down.
I watched it a bunch of
Yeah,
times.
yes, absolutely.
I think the hit was uncalled for,
Yeah,
1,000%.
I agree.
Do I think he should have been
Cut.
fired for it?
Yeah. No,
I don't think so.
not in my opinion.
Should he have been fined by the team? Yeah.
Reprimanded.
Should he? It should have been something handled in-house.
Thank you. Not to the media. Not trying to end his fucking career. It wasn't like he intentionally. Like there's been shit where there's been breakout fights at training camp, and another player has like I think it was a Raiders training camp years ago, and fucking dude choke slammed, picked up the tight end by his throat and slammed him, and it was just hey, that's what happens training camp. It's good to see this because that shows the competitiveness. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't just the Raiders camp saying that. It was analysts. It was commentator. Everything.
Well, and that's the thing is with who's the fight just broke out where they had to run wind sprints. What team? Is it?
Oh, the Giants.
The Giants. That's
Joe
what I was gonna-
Judge, Joe Looney. Yeah, go ahead.
So they break out into a fight.
Daniel
and
Jones,
they, and
the
they
quarterback.
They gotta run wind sprints.
Well, the quarterback rushes in. They broke out into a fight because of a hit where I watched it. I should have showed you the video a million times. It wasn't even a big hit, and then it broke out. Offense and defense really doesn't care for each other. They're against each other, whether they're on the same team or not. They just coexist during games in the season.
Oh, 1,000%.
Training camp, they go against each other every fucking day. The same people go against each other. And defense and offense players have always had issues, no matter the same team or not. But the hit really was some minute shit, which broke out into a little scuffle, I guess. I didn't see, there was no video of the scuffle that I saw.
The thing I listened to said there's been no videos released of the fight yet.
No. The hit, though, I can show you that. But Daniel Jones, the quarterback, the red shirt quarterback, rushes in to get involved and ends up in the bottom of the pile. Probably not intentionally, but ends up at the bottom of the pile.
But that's my biggest thing is,
why are you rushing in?
well, my
He
point
says
here.
teammates. He has to be there for them.
My point is, this big brawl happens because of a hit that
Mhm.
nobody liked,
Yep.
and then your star quarterback gets involved, and nobody on that team is going to
yeah.
get fined,
Yep.
suspended, or even talked to.
Nope. They just got
This guy
wind sprints and
makes
shit.
this guy makes a hit that, from what I've seen,
Mhm.
unless some shit comes out from a different angle or something comes out that they were beefing,
Mhm.
did not look intentional to take dude's head off.
No.
Was it uncalled for?
Yeah.
Do I think he could have pulled up? Maybe.
What? Yeah.
I can't say for sure.
He was
because
he was in motion, but we slowed it down. It's hard to say.
And that's what I'm saying. So, in training camp, for guys that are right there on the verge of being a starter and getting minutes and stuff like that, you gotta go 1,000% every play.
You try to make, and he's a reserve or like a practice squad guy. So
And-
he's trying to prove himself.
And that was my point. Is I think the coach,
Matt Rule, who just came from college coaching,
is trying to make a point.
especially since he's never coached the NFL.
He wants to say, look, I run this shit.
Yeah.
Don't do no dumb shit or there will be repercussions. Because like I told you, if it was some big name guy that did that, there's no way they cut him.
No, fuck no.
It's easy to send a practice guy.
Clean that shit up. We can't be doing that. If they say anything.
It's easy to send a practice guy walking.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to walk up to an Ed Reed and be like, hey, bro, you hit dude too high in practice.
You're cut.
Here's your last check.
Yeah.
Pack it up. There's no fucking way.
And I honestly, I think JTEB gets picked up by, you said earlier, and I agree, gets picked up by another team.
Yeah, I mean, I hope that the receiver's good. Supposedly he has a concussion.
Yeah.
I just hope that he can, because concussions can do some shit.
Oh yeah.
He can come back, and I hope that getting that concussion doesn't make it where he doesn't make the team eventually.
Absolutely. Well, he played for them last year, and he had some injuries, some nagging injuries that kept him off the field for a while. So he's not a first-year player with them. But yes, you're absolutely right. I would hate to see that too,
Yeah, because sometimes in training camp, if you don't get enough minutes, you get cut just because they don't have enough film to look at.
Exactly. But cutting a player over that, it's a hard situation. I mean, we weren't there. We don't know what transpired. For all we know, he could have fucking done it. It hit him and then talked shit about it later.
Oh yeah, for all we know, he could have hit him and stood over top of him, calling him names. You know what I mean?
We didn't see that.
No, but I'm saying that shit could have happened.
Yeah.
Or before the fact said that he was going to do some shit like that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
There's a lot more. I mean, you got to think this is NFL team insider shit that we don't have that knowledge. So
we ain't that famous.
Joe Judge. I guess Kelvin Benjamin, was it Kelvin Benjamin that was a tight end, or it was a wide receiver that retired and came back and He came back and was with the Giants and was trying to make his comeback as a tight end. I'm 95% sure it was Kelvin Benjamin.
It sounds like, because Kelvin Benjamin, when he was with the Panthers, came in bigger than he should have for a wide receiver.
So he was at training camp, I think, right before this happened, and there was just a news story that he walked off the field. There's video of him walking, and then the trainer or Joe Judge following him like in tow from a ways behind. But he went on a tyrant, just fucking going off and talking shit about Joe Judge, about how I think I sent you something where we talked about it last. I don't know, saying that he'll never win a championship because all this motherfucker does is yells and cusses at his players. He's a fucking know-it-all. Like this, that, and the third.
You did bring it up last time. Right?
We talked about that, but I don't think we spoke on it during the podcast. But Kelvin Benjamin, who was a veteran who retired, came back and tried making it as a tight end. They cut him. Well, he walked off. I apologize. They didn't cut him. He walked off and said, "Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you."
Well, you're not even cool. Did you say someone retired because they weren't doing these wind sprints and push-ups?
Joe Looney, and I pulled up the Pat McAfee pod or on YouTube, and shout out to McAfee and the boys. But I just pulled this story up to show them, what the tweet was. But Joe Looney is a fucking offensive lineman veteran. I think he's 34. He came in, and the next day, this shit happened with this brawl. And then Joe Judge, the coach of the Giants, had them running wind sprints and doing push-ups and this, that, and the third. And Looney ended up retiring later that day or the next day. He was like, fuck it, I'm out. And I haven't seen that Joe Looney actually said it, but if you watch Pat McAfee, then you've already heard. But Pat McAfee was like, he came in as a veteran, like, yo, what the fuck? Is this how we get down here? And the guys were like, yeah, under Joe Judge, it's kind of how we get down. He was like, fuck that. I'm a big-ass lineman, and, I came in here like, I'm not wind sprinting and doing push-ups. I'm fucking out. Deuces.
Well, did you read the last line of this?
I did, but I don't remember what it said.
He was the second player to sign and then retire.
So Kelvin Benjamin said that Joe Judge is a complete piece of shit, in a sense.
Linebacker Todd Davis retired on Tuesday after also signing on the same day as Looney, which was last Saturday.
Oh, shit. And I think that shit happened like a day or two after.
And so this tweet was written Wednesday. So that means that from Saturday
to Wednesday.
So 5 days. In 5 days, Looney and Todd Davis both retired after signing contracts with the Giants. I'm not saying it's the coach's fault, but that sounds very suspicious.
There's a common denominator, it seems like.
And especially if Kelvin Benjamin's running off the field.
I want to say, I'm pretty sure it's
whoever it is. If someone's
yeah.
running off the field saying he ain't going to be shit, that's the
read. No. He walked off the field with a trainer, like, following her coach, following her GM, and he did a press conference.
That's what I'm saying. If there's three guys that are all not about being on that team because of the head coach, Hey, that's tough, bro.
And you know what? As a Cowboys fan, that's music to my ears. You know, let them self-destruct over there. I'm cool with that. But yeah, it was Kelvin Benjamin. He lays into Joe Judge after getting cut by the Giants in training camp. It was all a hoax. But the thing was, he didn't lay into them after getting cut. I guess, you know, when you're at a job and they're like, you're fired, and you're like, well, that's funny, you can't fire me because I quit. The funny thing is, he walked off and quit, and then all the Giants front office like, oh, we cut him. But he was
because
like,
it looks better on them.
yeah, no, I quit. I walked off. I didn't want to be a part of this team in a sense, you know. We said it was all a hoax. Let me see. I'm trying to find the quotes. So he blasted the way, he called him hoax, and declaring Joe Judge doesn't have what it takes to lead the Giants to championship. And this is quote unquote. I just felt like from day one, once I stepped on the field, once I put on the colors, he never liked me. Benjamin said he didn't even want me there. I'm trying to see, and then quote unquote, I don't want to bash anyone, but I feel like Joe has had it out for me since I walked in the team building. It never felt right. The guy never even had a conversation with me until the day they signed me. But that's just the gist of it. Not just being not liked. He had made comments about how all he does is swear and talk down to the players, and he's a know-it-all, all that shit. And you know, it's different when you're a high school kid playing for a coach, and you're a kid playing for an older person who's coaching or teaching. Then you get to college, and the coaches are a lot older than the players still, and you're still learning. But when you get to the big leagues, NFL or ML, whatever professional sport, you're a grown-ass man who has been playing that sport most of the time since you were a kid. And when you get the NFL, you're a grown-ass man, and nobody wants to be talked down to like they're a child, especially when they're a grown-up, you know? But
1,000%.
a lot of times these players have more knowledge of gameplay than the coaches do of actually playing. Half these coaches have never played football or played and never made it past high school or college. You know, so
yeah,
I'm not taking it for Kelvin Benjamin in that sense. But
even at that point, you should be man enough as a coach and a player. It should be a give and take thing.
Respect.
Where it's like, because as a coach, you can watch all the film you want to watch. You can look at practice all you want to do.
Yeah.
But it's not you out there running the route. And so if you're like, hey, look, this 5-step dig, we should make it a 3-step dig because I think it'll work better against this guy.
Yeah, 100%. You might know that. Yeah, as a coach.
Well, I'm saying as the player, because when you're out there running that 5-step dig,
yeah,
and you could just be like, the receiver or tight end could be like, we're going too deep on that dig. Like, if we can get it on the 3, I think we can beat him. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because I've been going against him the whole game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And from what Kelvin Benjamin is saying, this coach isn't that.
He's a know-it-all.
He says, 5-step dig.
Yeah.
And you come back and be like, hey, can we just try a 3? I think 5-step dig.
Yeah.
No, I really...
And this is all just, just...
And this is what we're going off of what Kelvin Benjamin said. I don't know the coach.
If that was even the terminology or what was said, but just an example of how it could be.
Yeah, and he's like 5-step dig.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, no, get on the bench. Yeah. That's just like if Kelvin Benjamin, and if that's how he is, that's what I picture.
Yeah.
Is like instead of listening or like we want a 3-step slant.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, no, we need to go deeper. Like the receiver, and some of these receivers,
they know the shit,
or good quarterbacks. Like I saw something the other day about Peyton, which blew my mind because I know in Indy and in Denver he was allowed to make his calls and stuff like that. Was it Monte Ball, one of the running backs when Peyton was there?
I remember
literally said that Peyton ignored his headset when offensive coordinators would call shit in.
That's fucking awesome.
And would sub players in and out himself. He would literally be like, you're out, and signal for dudes to come in.
There was Pat McAfee, again, going back to Pat McAfee, had a story of when one of the receivers, and Pat McAfee was talking about how much of a sheriff, basically, Peyton was, how much of a gangster he was, is that during a game, there was a wide receiver and it wasn't a big name wide receiver, I don't believe, but he ran a slant towards the sidelines, and Peyton, threw it, and he reached out. He could only get it with one hand. Got it and pulled it in, made the play, got the first down. It was a great play or whatnot. And Peyton said, when I throw to you, don't ever fucking catch with one hand. You better put two hands on the ball. And he was like Peyton, I couldn't do anything besides. He's like, you're out. And then the wide receiver was like, huh? He's like, out, get out, and sub somebody else in. Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
So dude came in, and the coach was like, what are you doing? Get back in there. The coach, get back in there. He's like, Peyton told me I'm out. And he was like, no, get back in there. And he looked over, he said, no, Peyton said I'm out. Peyton had that fucking, that direct, I don't even know what the word is, like, he just had that demeanor, you know what I'm saying?
He was
that guy.
He was that guy, and like I've always said, his physical ability is not the reason he was who he was.
Tom Brady, too. Tom Brady, look, when you see his dad bod pics when he was getting at the combine.
Oh, yeah, no.
He looked like he had 3 kids already.
With Peyton, it was his mental ability is what made him who he was.
You're right, and Tom Brady, his mental, but it's also his arm.
Yeah, see,
Amazing
Peyton didn't
arm.
even have the power arm. He had the precise.
Yeah. Like Favre, from what I heard, John Elway had one of the most powerful arms to where wide receivers used to come back from the games or practices, and they would have a crosshair on their chest from where the tip of the ball would hit them so hard. Like, players that didn't use gloves had to start wearing gloves because of John Elway, because he used to throw so fucking hard.
Well, and a lot of things that I heard about John Elway is it didn't matter if you were 2 feet away from him or 40 yards away, he was giving it the same zip.
That's fucking crazy.
Like, he wasn't like slowly putting the ball up, because he knew if he put anything less than everything, it gave that
More
split second for a defender to get in there.
That's fucking so true.
And that reminds me of a story of Derek Jeter, where his freshman year in high school, he wasn't on varsity. He was on the freshman squad.
Yeah.
And I guess it was an indoor practice because it was raining or whatever. And they were in the gym just hitting ground balls. And he was fielding them and throwing them full force to the first baseman.
Jesus.
And you could, I guess, in the gym, you could just hear the pop into the glove.
The smacking in the
And
bruised hand.
I guess the varsity head coach happened to be walking by.
Outside the gym and heard it?
Me, like, in the gym or whatever, he heard it.
Yeah.
And he was like, what the fuck is this kid doing?
Fuck yeah.
Like, we're inside practicing. Like, he could easily just be just kind of getting it over there, because it's just practice.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm kidding. Go on.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I guess they talked to him. He ended up playing freshman most of the year, and then played JV. And then I guess from the story, he ended up playing. He got called up to varsity for playoffs. Didn't get a lot of playing time in the playoffs because he was a freshman.
Yeah.
But he was there, and then his sophomore year on, he was on varsity.
That's crazy.
But yeah, he just like John Elway, it didn't matter where you were.
Yeah, or practice or not. Yeah.
It was 100% all, because you needed to be game ready.
That's some Kobe shit.
And so that reminds me of, that's when you said that, it reminded me of how literally Jeter's in a gym just slinging it.
That's crazy. And Derek Jeter is one of the best MLB players to ever play the game.
Probably the best shortstop of all time.
Oh yeah. It's like,
which is crazy
stat-wise.
because in that same, it was a book that I read. In that same book, he never wanted
books.
Not anymore.
Okay,
he didn't want to be a shortstop.
Yeah.
He wanted to be a pitcher.
Yeah, I remember.
And his parents told him no, because pitchers hurt their arms too much.
100% Tommy John surgery, and they don't.
And even back, and now Tommy John is not a death sentence for a pitcher.
No, but it used to be.
And if you think about it, back when Jeter was little, like when he was a kid playing baseball, if you heard Tommy John, that pitcher's career was probably would never be. Yeah,
or going to be a reliever possibly. I mean, Jeter played for 20 fucking years and retired 4 or 5 years ago. How long did he retire? Like it's been a few years. I think it was 2018 he retired. I'm pretty sure he...
2014.
Oh, was it? Damn, was it
I don't
that
feel like
long?
it was that long ago, but yeah.
But that just shows how old we're getting, dude. Time is just like, ugh, you know?
He retired with the 6th highest hit total in Major League history.
That's wild. But back to football. I mean, since we're back to football, I'm so excited. Phillip Rivers, this old bastard. No, he's like 38, I think.
You can't say old anymore with Tom Brady out here being 44.
I know, and that's what I was going to say. I wonder, these quarterbacks who are late 30s who are like, oh, I'm old, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, Tom Brady's 44? Oh, did we see all these happy birthday 44 Tom Brady, TB12? Oh, that puts a battery in their back. Like, oh, shit, I can still do it. Anyways, I believe Phillip Rivers like 38.
39, I just looked at it.
Thank you.
39, but he has like 12 kids, so he's super aged.
I think he has 9, but yes. he's a polygamist. We only got one wife.
But motherfucker has so many kids, his age, like, inside is probably like 45.
Oh, they dog years, bro.
The kids age you like a motherfucker.
Motherfucker, you never spoke more truth, bro. But obviously he retired at the end of, was it last season? He left the San Diego Chargers, San Diego for 99% of his career. Then he went to LA Chargers, and I think he played 1 year and retired after last season, right? So supposedly, from what I understand, is he's been coaching his son's team, high school team, his son's team this whole season. But he was talked to, and he said he's been in the gym, staying ready, because there's a possibility he can make a comeback. But he's saying if a team calls late in the season, and doing some shit like Carson Palmer did, which Carson Palmer, well, I mean, it's not the same, but Carson Palmer wasn't happy with his contract, I believe in Cincinnati. I ended up retiring to get out of that shit. He didn't want to be there. Was sitting on his fucking couch. He said no teams had called. He was sitting on his couch, drinking beer with his friend, watching football, eating, junk food and shit. And they got a call from, at the time, the Oakland Raiders saying, hey, you want to play? And he's like, yeah, I guess I can play. Flew out to Oakland, didn't do very good out there, kind of shit the bed, and then went to Arizona and balled the fuck out. Like, Carson Palmer had his best games in Arizona.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But either way, so Phillip Rivers, he retired not because he was in a bad contract, but
he was just tired, man.
Yeah,
he was playing for a while.
Do you know, I watched or heard something at work the other night, and he has the most wins, I believe, is somewhere at most or second most wins by a quarterback ever to never win a Super Bowl. Like,
yeah, oh yeah, I've seen a stat like that where
it's crazy. He's got some crazy records for quarterbacks who have never won a Super Bowl, but have put up bigger and more numbers than any other quarterback who almost has, or has, or whatever. So he said he's in the gym, staying fit, staying ready, in case that call comes towards, the end of the season. Because a lot of teams, obviously quarterbacks get hurt. Like Carson Wentz, and we'll talk about that.
I'm going to say the Colts might be calling here pretty quickly.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the segue, I guess. But, towards the end of the year, towards the middle of the year, towards fucking right now, he can get a call because quarterbacks went down. So he's staying ready. So if you see Phillip Rivers come back and make a...
Didn't he play for the Colts?
Yeah, this last season. Yeah, that was... He left the Chargers, went to the Colts, played one season, took them to the playoffs, got beat out in the first or second round, and then retired because he wanted to move to Florida with his family and yada yada. But so if you guys see Phillip Rivers make a comeback or come back at all, right here at the Big and Blizz podcast told you so. So, but with that being said,
speaking of cultural fast,
go ahead.
I thought I had remembered seeing this. And this Andrew Luck has informed the Indianapolis Colts that he will be coming out of retirement.
Whoa! Breaking. Well, it's not breaking news, I'm sure, but breaking news.
It happened yesterday. I could have swore I had saw something on it. I just looked it up, and the Colts. Yeah. So I got tired of just spending time with my family. The competitive urge to play again is too overwhelming.
Well, look, the segue. Sorry, go ahead and finish what you were saying.
No, that's what I'm saying. So maybe we see Andrew Luck in a Colts jersey, or maybe we see Phillip Rivers in the Colts jersey. Or
both. A veteran. Well, they're both veterans. So hold on. So we're filming today. It's Thursday, August 5th. We would just watched part of or most of the Hall of Fame game, the Cowboys Steelers. We already went over that. But our record date right now was Thursday, August 5th, right? So if he said that yesterday, Andrew Luck, that was the 4th of August, 2021. So that's big fucking news. I didn't even know that, and
I thought I saw something in passing on Facebook or something.
That's huge.
And I was like, there was something about Andrew Luck coming back, and I was like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah, but his quote is that he is available. He's coming out of retirement because the competitive urge is too strong.
We talked about this not on podcast, but me and you talked about we thought he would come out of retirement because he was such a competitor.
And I honestly
he
didn't
took some
think
years
he
off
would,
to heal up, though.
I didn't think he would come out of retirement and play for the Colts, personally.
He might not.
But I think he still had contracts.
He does. So if he comes back, they own the rights.
Yeah, he either has to play for them,
or they have to
trade his rights away.
Yeah, which that's what happened with Marshawn when he retired from the Seahawks, went to the Raiders. But it does happen. And but yeah, that's you just broke news to me, and I'm sure you're breaking news to some of our followers or listeners. But so I was saying Phillip Rivers could be coming. That was the segue into what I'm passing on to you about the quarterback situation in Indianapolis for the Colts right now. And I'm like, well, shit, we might see Rivers early in the season or before the season starts instead of being, later in the season. But holy shit, Andrew Luck, he might be called on to come back and take over the squad.
Well, yeah, I mean, if Wentz is going to be out long term.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's an assist to you. Take care of that shit.
I saw something that says the head coach for their team right now has 20 NFL starts.
Who's your head coach?
I'm pulling that up right now. He has 20 NFL starts at the quarterback position, which is more than all 4 of the healthy quarterbacks that are left on the team. Frank Reich is the head coach. He has 20 NFL starts at the QB, which is more than all 4 of the healthy quarterbacks combined.
Sorry for putting you on the spot, Big.
That's fine. I should have looked up his name, but so he has more starts than 4 NFL quarterbacks combined
on his team.
All on this team, yeah.
Tell him what happened with Wentz.
And Wentz,
Wentz got traded from the Eagles to the Colts, right?
Yeah.
And he was their starting quarterback. This is why this is all relevant. He was a starting quarterback, got injured. Did he break his foot? Some injury with his foot, right?
Yeah, it's a foot injury, and they say he's expected to return sooner than later.
That doesn't mean shit,
It says Carson Wentz has a wide range for potential return from his foot surgery, but the Indianapolis Colts are optimistic about his recovery.
But since he is out, their 4 relievers, backups, whatever they have on the squad right now, their coach played in the NFL, correct?
Yeah, he has 20 NFL starts.
So that's more starts than all 4 of the other ones. So
combined.
If the other 4 had 5 each, that would equal 20. Which means one might have had 0. One might have 3. Who knows? But that's crazy. So they're stuck between a rut and a hard place, obviously. So they're going to have to either bring in Rivers or fucking Andrew Luck. Holy shit. That'd be some crazy shit. Indianapolis Colts fans are salivating at the opportunity of Luck coming back, though. Rivers didn't do bad. His solo year in Indianapolis took him to playoffs and shit and put up good numbers.
Yeah.
They just didn't have that team around him, He brings that veteran leadership and shit.
Okay, so I'm looking real fast as we're talking. So, one of the quarterbacks, Sam Einlinger.
Yeah, we went over this earlier.
He's a rookie, so he has no starts.
That's easy.
So that's easy to beat. I'm hoping that. And so Jacob Eason. Mm-hmm. This will be his 2nd year in the league.
With 0 starts, probably.
So he probably doesn't have a ton of, and it is his 2nd year with the Colts.
So he probably has 0. No. So he has 0 starts because Rivers played all 16 games last season, Rivers didn't get hurt at all, which means that quarterback you just mentioned has 0 starts. If his first year was with the Colts, he has 0 starts. So that's 2 down that have 0 starts.
Yeah.
So with the 3rd and 4th,
I know. I think Brett Hundley.
so yeah, sounds really familiar. I don't know who this guy is, to be honest. It sounds familiar though.
He's actually been around for a while.
Has he? He's a veteran.
Yeah.
Or journeyman.
He not great.
No.
Obviously, he played. That's who he was. He played for the Packers.
Okay, behind
That's where
Aaron
he started.
Rodgers.
Yeah, and he actually had an almost 2,000-yard season, but 9 touchdowns, 12 interceptions.
How many starts? 3, 4, 5? Yeah, look at that. That's not a fucking roster stat, or a stat that's just easily available usually. But yeah, that's where I knew Hundley from. So that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. So let's see, right here. Did not play. So he has. This guy might be the only one that has any starts. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 starts.
Wow. So the remaining guy could have 9 or less. He's got 9. He has to have 9 or less.
And
if
then,
the coach
yeah,
has 20.
so he has 10.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last guy is Jalen Morton.
Do not know the name. Never have.
He's young quarterback. He played for Prairie View A&M.
So he was at Texas, probably.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Either way, but yeah, that shit blew my mind about the Andrew Luck situation.
He's from Arlington.
Yeah, Texas. So yeah, Prairie View, Arlington, Texas.
And he's a rookie in the NFL. So
it was only Hundley that
So
has
Hundley's the only person with any kind of starts.
any experience, but he was behind fucking, Aaron Rodgers too. So that's got to count for something.
Yeah, he's played. I think he played 2017 under Aaron Rodgers, and then he played for the Cardinals.
Probably.
Oh, so he played 2016, 2017 under the Packers.
So when Aaron Rodgers broke his collarbone, he probably got most of the starts.
That's when he got most of his starts.
Yeah.
Didn't play in 2018. Didn't have a team.
He's just sitting on his couch.
2019 was with Arizona.
And that was behind. I don't know.
He didn't start a single game. He had 11 attempts for 5 completions.
That year they went through 5 quarterbacks, I believe.
And then didn't play in 2020. Didn't have a team in 2020.
Maybe he sat out against COVID.
And then obviously he signed with the Colts for a training camp. So only guy with any starts, and it was 9 starts. I miscounted.
Hundley.
That was 9 starts.
Okay. Which is cool, but Aaron Rodgers,
So
Andrew
to
Luck,
me-
or Phillip Rivers.
To me, that stat is a little skewed considering
100%.
2 of those guys are rookies.
That was just a good headline for a news
Yeah.
source, yeah. But with more NFL news, you want to talk about the Chiefs and their mascot now?
Yeah, so the Chiefs are saying they are not going to change their name.
Chiefs
But
is not a bad name.
Chiefs to me isn't
It's not
derogatory in any
racist.
term. But they are going to remove their mascot, which the name for their mascot is War Paint.
War Paint or War Face? War Paint?
It's War Paint.
Okay, gotcha.
They
The one that
no longer-
rides out on the horse with the
Yeah.
headdress and doesn't he have like a spear?
Yeah,
or
I'm
sheath?
pretty sure he stabs it into the field every
That's-
game.
Quite possibly, yes.
So they won't be using that mascot anymore.
But yeah, that mascot does have complete Native American face paint and a feathered hair or headdress.
Well,
that
and
goes
to
on the
me, and like we were talking earlier, I don't even know.
back. I don't think that's racist. But
Okay,
I think
my
it's-
question is, who's the one face painted? Is it
Yeah.
just some random non-native?
Yeah, if it is, then it's just like a white person putting on blackface in a sense, I guess.
So to me, that would be the only reason to cancel it. Maybe
Yeah.
I'm still, in my opinion, I still don't know if that's a big enough reason to cancel it.
But just change out the person who's wearing it, I guess.
Because you're telling me that a native an actual native person who wants to
Native
spread
American, yeah.
wants to spread their culture, their dying culture,
or teach it.
That's what I'm saying. They want to put some.
Wait, this is their mascot. The Chiefs' mascot is a wolf, like one of those fucking furry suit.
Did
wolves.
you type in war paint?
No, I didn't. But that's their mascot. We're talking about their opening thing. I'm looking at war paint right now. But their actual mascot, because at first I was like, I didn't understand, you know? But yeah, their actual mascot is a fucking furry suit wolf. But this is war paint. It's female. Look, from what it looks like to me, it's a white Caucasian female.
Oh no, it's the horse.
Oh. Wait, what the fuck?
Paint is a pinto horse that was a mascot for the Chiefs NFL team.
What the fuck are they changing the horse for? Change the name, I guess, if you feel that way? What the fuck? Are you serious? The horse is getting changed?
So maybe they are getting rid of the writing out on war paint.
Okay.
To me still...
But I don't understand that.
Because the Chiefs, to me, and it's not a negative connotation.
I wouldn't think so. And I'm half native.
And so what I'm
Apache.
saying is, to me, the move is bring in some native people, some Native Americans, to do that writing in, because every Native American that I know, and all the ones that are in my family that are actually like native, reservation people, all they want to do is spread knowledge about their culture.
Absolutely.
Because their culture is slowly dying.
Yeah.
Because it was forced to not be taught for a long time.
Absolutely.
And so their only goal is to spread the knowledge.
Yeah, the history.
So you're telling me that in that area of Kansas City, you can't find 2, 3, 4 guys.
There's so many reservations in
that
Kansas
are willing to come in traditional headdresses
and get paid good.
Pay them, yeah, but most of them probably would do it for next to nothing just to be able to spread their heritage.
You're right.
But pay them to come in and ride in with traditional music.
Headdress, all that shit.
Like, make it legitimate and make it a teaching tool.
Absolutely. Go to,
and I'm not saying we need to push all this agenda, because
it's not about agenda with that, but yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, if you're willing to keep the Chiefs name because it's not derogatory, why not use that as a platform?
You know what's crazy big is I'm stupefied right now because
of course.
Yeah, well, looking at that, and like you said, and I agree 100,000%, is the name Chiefs. I don't see derogatory. It's not like the Redskins name, like you said earlier. Oh, 100% is a derogatory term. Or if you were to call them the Indians or wagon burners, like that would be derogatory. You feel me? And disrespectful and racist. But if you're banning the horse because it's a horse or because the name, you can't change the name.
Even the name's not derogatory.
But my whole thing is, if you're looking at what's more derogatory, neither of them are. Don't get it twisted, in my opinion, right? But you would think that Chiefs, okay, if you had to say, a horse or the name Chiefs, even though we both agree that neither of them, in our opinion, are not derogatory, they're not derogatory, I would lean towards, if you have to get rid of one or the other, we'll do away with Chiefs then. Because, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you see the logo and you think Chiefs, you think of natives.
Mm-hmm.
You see a fucking horse, you think of a fucking horse. You think of the Colts, you think of... What the fuck?
Yeah.
How is one... Whoever came up with this stupid bullshit is... The cancel culture has really gotten to them, and I don't agree. And like I said, I'm half native, I'm Apache, my heritage. Not that I grew up knowing my heritage, I didn't grow up like that, but... My lineage is I'm half Native American. Not Indian. Indians are from India. I am Native American. Half. But either way, like, I'm just mind-fucked right now on how the horse has anything to do with being derogatory or race. Like, either way. But with that being said, I'm going to transition into the Washington football team.
Well, hang on real fast. I was super curious on why they were retiring war paint, so I looked something up.
Okay.
And
it's got a Mexican name. It's a Pinto. I mean, it's a breed of horse, but the Pinto is more of a Hispanic or Latino thing, you know?
It says 3 days after Cleveland's baseball team, this is New York Times, by the way.
They're following suit, but yes.
Changed their names from Indians to Guardians, which Indians,
that makes sense.
Indians is considered a not proper term for Native Americans.
Native Americans
Some of them are
indigenous.
okay.
Indigenous.
Some of them are okay with it,
yes.
but it's not considered the right term.
Yeah, that's not common through the whole all the cultures. But yes.
Yeah, and so it says, after decades of protests about the sports world using Native American imagery, the Kansas City Chiefs said on Monday that the team was retiring its mascot, a horse named Warpaint.
That's not the fucking mascot.
And so they said, the president of Kansas City said, we feel it's time to retire Warpaint. A lot of reasons for that, but we just feel like it is the right thing to do, so Warpaint won't be running around Arrowhead anymore.
Arrowhead! Fucking come on! Your stadium is Arrowhead. You're the fucking Chiefs. Everybody knows it goes back to Native Americans. The fucking horse. The fucking horse, Big. The horse. Like, this shit is fucking, and I'm not going to say the R word, I'm going to say ridiculous. Because
it says, so they will remain the Chiefs, just like the Atlanta Braves are keeping their name, and the Chicago Blackhawks.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Of the NHL, we have said there are no plans to change their names. Which, again, I believe the Atlanta Braves and the Chicago Blackhawks fall into that.
The Blackhawks? Blackhawks?
That's what you watched the wrong movie, is what you did. Neither one of those names, the Braves or the Blackhawks, fall into that racial derogatory. To me, the Braves, maybe their logo may need to be fixed. I honestly haven't looked at the Braves logo in a while.
If you want to get technical.
But to me, Braves puts kind of a positive light on it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you think about it, the
Blackhawks,
World War II, they had the native speakers and everything, which were fucking brave. So that makes more sense.
And the Blackhawks, to me, is just putting light on a certain tribe.
Yeah.
Which to me, not a bad thing.
Blackhawk tribe, but I'm sure it was a group of natives that were fighters.
It comes after years of pressure from Native American groups on sports teams with racist names and offensive iconography.
Fucking horse.
And cultural appropriation surrounding the franchise.
So
a year ago, the Chiefs prohibited headdresses and face paint.
Mm-hmm.
Just a month after the NFL Washington team dropped the Redskins name.
Mm-hmm. That was derogatory as fuck.
Yes, and so then we all know the Cleveland Indians switched their name.
You wouldn't have a team like the frickin', it put City here N-words, or whatever, or Oklahoma Crackers.
And so the Chiefs guy again, Mr. Donovan. Obviously, we knew about the Cleveland decision a year plus ago. Damn. So everybody knew in the sports world that it was going to happen.
Yeah.
It doesn't really change their approach on the name. According to the website, Warpaint, a reddish brown and white mare, which is a female horse, was born in 1998, and it's been ridden by a cheerleader on game days and dashes across the field every time the Chiefs score. The original Warpaint was ridden by a man in a headdress when the team played at Municipal Stadium from 1963 to 1971. The Kansas City Indian Center, a nonprofit organization, is trying to change the football team's name.
See, they're cool with being called Indians, which is not everybody is, but the Indian Center.
So no longer using a race of human beings as a mascot is also the right thing to do.
But
Chiefs isn't a race.
No, but
Chiefs is a title.
They're talking about a race of mascots, though.
No, it's no longer using a race of human.
As a mascot.
As a mascot.
So
how's a horse
and a cheer? Maybe so
they got rid of the headdress guy.
So it was a white female cheerleader
just riding a horse.
Is that it?
She literally rode a horse with a flag.
So maybe that's what it is. They didn't want to say take the white person off the horse, just get rid of the horse situation, which I understand more. But breaking news, this just in: Dallas Cowboys changed their name from the cowboy to the guy with the hat. You know, like, what the fuck? So how long before the Dallas Cowboys, it's a race thing because, like, there's Cowboys, actually, if you think about it, the Mexican culture, they had the first Cowboys. Cowboys that you see in, like, the South and Texas and this, the original Cowboys were Mexicans from Mexico, you know? Latinos. And then the culture transferred up north, you know?
Yeah, so reading this, the Chiefs made their changes when it came to headdresses and all that stuff after serious discussions with Native American leaders. So they went and sat down with Native American leaders and were like, look, we want to make changes. We want to do this the right way. And so what is it like? And they also changed their Arrowhead chop motion, which has been performed by fans and cheerleaders at games by moving your arm.
Still is.
Like you're throwing a tomahawk.
Still is. Today.
Now it's supposed to be done, you're supposed to do it with a closed fist now, so it doesn't.
What the fuck?
And this is after meetings with...
But the fans aren't going to do that. You can't say 70,000 fans are going to all be like, oh, we're doing closed fist chops now. And some of them are traditional. They're going to keep doing the open hand. But my thing is that you said the mascot came out with full headdress. The rider from 63 to 70 something.
71.
So that means they were ahead of their time. They were meeting with the Native Americans to see if they were okay with it back then, because they said they met with them and they decided to take the headdress off. Right.
This is getting, like, as I get into this, the Chiefs are doing some.
Way ahead of the time.
So, Mr. Donovan, the president of the team, said, we've made significant changes over the last few years, which we are proud of, and we believe we are doing the right thing.
Gotcha.
They've met with the American Indian Working Group, which is made up of a bunch of tribes.
Yeah.
And 7 years ago, they brought this committee together so that the Chiefs organization could learn more about the Native American culture.
That's fucking dope.
And starting in 2014, they have a group of Native Americans that come onto the field every home game to do a drum blessing ceremony, which is a traditional Native American thing.
100%.
So they bless the Chiefs' drums that are played on the sidelines before each game.
That's dope. And you don't see that. That's not spoken on. That's not for publicity. That's just giving back, you know, which is dope.
And so things I was saying where they need to bring these people in.
They have been.
They've been doing it
since
for
2014.
7 years. But they've been doing these things.
Well, and if the original rider of the horse rode in with the full headdress, and then they met with Native Americans or Indian committee, and they said that wasn't good, they did that back in the 70s too then. They got rid of that.
Yeah.
Axed it out. So, hey, big ups to the Kansas City Chiefs for doing that and being ahead of, you know, the curve and shit, which is great. I just don't understand the horse situation. If it was because it was a white person riding the horse, okay, then say that. But I'm confused. But anyways, I got my blood pressure up. But with that being said, let's transition into the Washington football team, the former Redskins. Now, after the news broke of this mascot situation or horse situation in Kansas City, the Redskins, I apologize, it's still hard to say. Like when the San Diego Chargers went to LA, you even heard the announcers or whatever, Tony Romo and shit.
Yeah.
You know, broadcasting the game saying, oh, the San Diego, LA Chargers.
Yeah.
It's hard to get used to, okay? So, sorry about that.
To be honest, that name, the Redskins name, is more appropriate for what's happening because as we read this about the Chiefs, what you're about to say actually kind of, even though I'm not super native, I do have a little bit of native in me. And like I said, I have family members who live on the reservations here and stuff.
Yeah.
The fact that the Washington football team got rid of the name but didn't put a stand on this, they were still allowing people to wear headdresses and war paint and all this stuff 2 games until this year.
Yeah, well, so a few years ago, the Indian or Native committee in that area in Washington came to them and asked them to stop using the Redskin name And the owner, I can't remember his name of the football team now. He was like, no, not doing it, wouldn't do it. Like, basically, fuck you, not doing it. It didn't happen until the beginning or before last season started, where FedEx, who sponsors the field, FedEx Field, who pays $20 million a season to have their name rights on that field, said, hey, a bunch of us sponsors are pulling out if you don't, fix your racial biased name. We're pulling out as a sponsor, as a name rights owner to your field, to the stadium. That the owner, and he's a very popular name. I can't remember him, but he's finally said, "Oh shit! Well, I never thought this was going to happen, so we're not. I don't have a name for the team." That's why they were like, "Oh, we're having a contest to name the team," and they stuck the football team as a placeholder.
Daniel Snyder.
Snyder, thank you. Who you also know is kind of a POS from all the allegations of sexual harassment in the office and.
Well, and what's allegations. What's crazy is the first article is Washington football team now names Tanea Snyder, his wife, as co-CEO because of the stuff that's going on with him.
So much sexual harassment.
They don't want him to be the face.
Yeah, well, not only that, but if something happens, he gets sued or something big happens, it doesn't affect the team 100%.
Yeah,
but. With that being said, they just, a couple of days ago, this week, finally put a ban. They banned fans in the stadium from wearing Native American headdresses and face paint. So you are not allowed to come into a game or be in a game. Like people go to the bathroom, come in with makeup in their pocket maybe, and do the Native American face paint or pull a headdress out of their pants, put it on. It's banned. So I don't know what the penalties will be if you would probably be told to take it off. If not, then escort it out. But
yeah. Well, that's my thing. Is like if you're trying to get away from that name, how is that not something that you put into place when you change that name?
Because Snyder was never trying to get away from that.
I know. I'm just saying,
he didn't want to. It wasn't until his backers said, "Hey, we're not backing you if you don't." They're like, "Fuck. Well, I guess we'll do away with the name." He don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. That's wild, though.
But like I said, after reading that New York Times article, I have a lot more respect for the Chiefs.
1,000,000%.
For everything, for bringing in as much outside actual Native Americans into their team, to their office, to their meetings, to the field.
Yeah, if you're gonna benefit off the name or likeness. It's that the name, image, likeness kind of thing with college students we talked about. And not saying that that's what it is or was. I don't know if it was ever meant to be like that, but that's cool. So
and the thing with the Chiefs is their logo
is Arrowhead.
Isn't derogatory.
It's an arrowhead. It's a Native American,
It's not like the Redskins logo.
Yeah, that was, in I don't know. People see it different ways.
It was the Braves.
The Braves
so
is
the
feather, right?
So there is,
or
I believe it's a tomahawk with Braves over top of it.
Yeah, with the
I believe there's an old school, there's the throwback logo.
Which is a Native American head.
It's a Native American head with a feather off the back.
Kind of like the Cleveland Indians.
Yeah, so I could see if they still used that one today.
Yeah.
People being a little, but again, they probably realized.
Cancel culture is real.
And I don't know when they changed to the new one.
Yeah, I don't know. You're talking about the Braves?
Yeah.
It's just like 90s. I remember like 96 them having the tomahawk. But I think there was different variations of the jersey throughout the season.
So here it is. 1989 was the last time they had any kind of Native American face.
That day, shout out to them.
And the crazy thing is they didn't have one the whole time because they were actually the Boston Braves to start out with.
Gotcha.
And it was just literally up until 1912, it was just either Boston or a B.
Yeah.
And then for a couple, from 1912 to 1920, it was like a side profile of a Native American with a headdress. And then they went back to the B. and then they went back to side profile again for a little bit, and then the longest stint of having a Native American face as a logo was from 1945 to 1989. There was different variations of that.
And the road was a lot different back then too.
Well, and they changed. So from 1990 to now, it's been
the tomahawk with
it's
the feather,
been the
right?
Braves, and then it has a tomahawk
Under it, yeah.
Which to me, again,
that's all I've ever known it to be.
That's all. I was born in '91.
I was born in '85, so that's all I've ever seen it or known it to be. So I don't know. That's crazy.
So yeah, I just don't see.
But then again, we're not natives on the reservation, and we don't know exactly.
The Blackhawks.
Yeah, that's
their
a little
logo.
Bit a little bit, yeah. But that's getting left the fuck alone. So I don't know. Like I said, we're not reservation natives, and I don't know my heritage or culture like that. But I know, there's some derogatory shit that stands out to anybody. In my opinion, in my opinion, doesn't mean that's fact. But
oh yeah.
Are we moving on from that? Because I've got a story I'd like to bring up. Or are we still on that?
Well, I just wanted to see where Blackhawk came from. So it's not a tribe.
Yeah, is it the Jet?
It was a war chief and leader of the Sauk tribe. I hope I pronounced that right.
The Sauk? How's it spelled?
S-A-U-K. In the Midwest of the United States. He was known for being a war leader and a captain for his actions.
I mean, it's pretty fucking,
So, I mean, if they're paying
honorable
homage to him in a respectful way.
Right. But then you think of hockey and you think of Caucasians. Or, there's other Canadians, Russians, Americans, but you think of hockey and you think of white.
Well, and I think the only reason Chicago...
And that's what you think anyways,
Well, and like I said, he came from a tribe in the Midwest, and Chicago's in the Midwest.
Oh, 1,000,000%. Yeah, no, before these were big, cities that were integrated with different races, like, at one time, this was all Native American land. So, no matter New York to California, at one Texas all the way up to Canada, even Canadians, Alaska, there's Native Alaskans, So at one point or another, the land, the North America or whatnot, was all Native Americans or indigenous people or whatever you want to call them. It's just that other races came through, and you know what I'm saying? Like, it is a mix. It was a melting pot, know. So yeah, it's not like Chicago had natives. Like, all you think of is like, when you hear Chicago, a lot of people only think of
the murder city.
You think of Chirac, or you think of Hood, but there's even suburbs of Chicago as well.
The Windy City.
Yeah, the Windy City. At one point, it was nothing but indigenous or native people to this area. So, but I want to get on to NBA. Steph Curry's contract. That's just wild.
Man making money.
Oh, stupid money. The only American player in the history of American sports to have two contracts that were worth $200 million plus. His first contract, I believe, was 5 years. His Supermax contract, which was about 4 years ago, 3-4 years ago.
It was 4 years ago because his final year is this year,
okay,
and then his extension will take place. His 4-year extension will take place after that.
So how it works with NBA, and correct me if I'm wrong, Big, because you know a lot of this too, is you have to be with the same team for at least 5 years, and then you're eligible for a super max contract, which is crazy big, right?
You can so you can get a super max even if you've never played for the team.
I didn't know that.
If Steph Curry could go free agent and get a super max forever, but the loophole is if you play with one team for 5 years, you get what they call bird rights. So your money doesn't go against the cap as hard.
Oh.
So, Curry and Clay have been there for so long. Yeah. They both could probably get super maxes because they both will have bird rights. So your full...
And Draymond, too.
Your full contract doesn't go against the cap with bird rights.
Oh, okay. See? That's why I said correct.
So, when Hassan Whiteside left Miami, he got a max contract somewhere else.
Gotcha. Okay.
So you can get a max contract somewhere else.
A super max contract.
A super max. They call it a super max because of the bird rights.
Gotcha.
Because you can go above the max because it doesn't affect the cap as hard.
Of the team you got it for. Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
And you only can get bird rights if you've been with the same team for 5 years.
That's what I'm saying. Okay. So Steph Curry, after 4 years ago, signed a supermax contract with the Golden State Warriors for 200.
Oh, it's 3. Actually, once you hit 3 years, you have bird rights.
Oh, I didn't know.
I thought it was 5.
They might have changed that because I've always known it to be 5. But either way, Steph Curry signed a supermax contract with the Golden State Warriors 4 years ago for $201 million, which made him the highest paid athlete per season, even over LeBron James, because LeBron James contracts were more time, I'm guessing, with bigger numbers, but the highest paid athlete at that time. Well, that was 4 years ago. His contract is done after this year. He just renegotiated with the Golden State Warriors and signed a $215 million contract over 4 years. And that the average that he'll be making per season, these 4 seasons, breaks down to, it's equivalent to $53,750,000 per season. Breaks down even more. He would be on average making $655,488 per game. And whether he's on the bench or not, during one Golden State Warriors game, 48 minutes, mind you, it equals out to $13,656 per minute just to be a starter. Just whether they pull him out to rest him for 4 or 5 minutes, he's still making average $13,656 a minute. There's a YouTuber I follow that bought his wife a 2021 inspected out, had it built, Lamborghini Urus. He said that he pays $4,160 per month for that car. Steph Curry makes enough to damn near pay 2 months of that car per minute of a game he's in. That's fucking wild.
That is wild.
That's crazy. After one game, $655,448. If you're thinking Lamborghini terms, he could buy fucking 3 Lamborghini Aventador SVJs probably. 2, probably 2.
Yeah.
After one game. That's crazy. That's fuck you money. Like we were talking earlier. Like, what did Dave Chappelle say? Kevin Hart's got shut the fuck up, bitch money.
Yeah, you can say shut the fuck up to his wife.
Yeah, he's got shut the fuck up, bitch money. He was like, I've got please be quiet money. I'd have to take out a loan for shut the fuck up, bitch money. Jay-Z has shut the fuck up, bitch money. And Beyonce has no, you shut the fuck up money, which is even more. But that's fuck you money. Joe Rogan's got fuck you money.
Yeah.
Not like Steph does, but... And it goes back to LeBron, but LeBron's the first active player to be a billionaire. But that's fuck you, you're not even cool, fuck all of you money.
Yeah. And so I looked up bird rights real fast because I knew there was some weird shit to it. So there's actually 3 levels to it.
Ooh, fuck. There's fuck you, fuck me, and fuck everybody.
There's non-bird rights, which are awarded to a team that a player has played with for 1 season. And in that case, a team can pay a player 120% of the player's previous salary. So they can pay them, say they made $1 million, the next go around, they could pay them $2.2 million. And then you have your early birds, which are awarded for a player who spends 2 consecutive seasons with one team. This would allow them to re-sign a player at 175% of the previous salary, or 104.5% of the league's average salary, whichever is higher at the time.
Yeah.
But this is where it gets crazy. Once they have full bird rights, which is after 3 seasons, this this is obviously the highest one and it allows for the most money. The only limit on their salary is it can only be up to 35% of the salary cap. And it went in bursts, so that means if your salary cap is $100 million, they can only, per season, can only cover 35% of it, which would be
$35 million.
$35 million.
Gotcha.
The salary cap is obviously higher than $100 million.
Oh yeah, way higher. I mean, if
Steph's on average making 50 fucking
but
4 million.
The crazy thing is, anything over, because like it says, other teams can only offer, say, with our analogy of $100 million, so that'd be 35% at $35 million.
Yeah.
So other teams could probably only offer like $25 million.
Gotcha.
So that extra $10 million that's over the actual max doesn't hit their cap.
Gotcha.
So whatever the actual max is that is allowed to be offered to that player is what hits the cap, and no matter how it could be, whatever
$100 more million
doesn't hit the cap.
That's gangster shit. That's crazy.
So for players like Steph, Clay, Draymond, those guys that
KD.
KD.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're right.
Hasn't been around. Guys like Giannis.
Oh yeah.
Kobe with the Lakers. Guys that stuck around one team.
MJ for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and so for those guys, it really helps the team because they can pay their stars a ton of money and not get hit with all the cap.
Yeah, the cap. The penalties.
But like Westbrook signing with the Lakers,
yeah, that's
they got hit for all that.
Yeah,
That's crazy. That shit is wild. But speaking of Lakers, hey, great transition. The this, everybody, this is the fucking big news of the, it's been since LeBron went to the Lakers. But I know we're running short on time, but you have to cover this Lakers thing, and this is probably...
Oh, yeah.
We're probably going to leave with this one.
Yeah, the
Who
Lakers...
did they sign? Everybody.
Right.
My son and my daughters just signed to them.
Right, who didn't sign? They went out after trading for Westbrook.
Yeah. Which we last episode, we said was, it was agreed upon, but it wasn't official.
It can't be official until tomorrow, actually.
Which is
tomorrow when we're recording,
Yeah.
which is August 6th.
I got you. We're recording the 5th, so yes.
Yeah, so the 6th. So by the time you're hearing this,
it's official.
It'll be official.
Yeah.
But as of, and that's the thing is with these free agent offers, they all can't be official till the 6th.
Gotcha.
But as of right now,
they've agreed.
These guys have all agreed.
All these guys.
Carmelo Anthony has agreed to head to the Lakers, and mind you, most of these are just 1-year deals.
Yeah. So wait, who did the Lakers get rid of? You guys got rid of Montrezl Harrell,
Kyle Kuzma,
Alex Caruso, right?
Alex Caruso,
who went to the fucking Bulls with Lonzo Ball.
Team up with Lonzo.
And fucking Bradley Beal, which that's not a bad 3. The Miami Heat has been sleeping. People have been sleeping on them too.
And so they signed Carmelo Anthony to a 1-year. Agreed to a 1-year deal with Carmelo. Dwight Howard. I don't know why they're bringing him back.
Fucking dumb, but yeah.
Trevor Ariza. We're bringing him back. He was part of a couple of the championships.
Great player.
He's a little older now, so we'll see.
Veteran. Yeah.
Malik Monk.
Not a bad player.
Wayne Ellington.
Don't really know who that is.
Kent Bazemore.
Good player. He came from the fucking Warriors.
Kendrick Nunn is the signed a 2-year deal.
Gotcha.
And then Talon Horton Tucker returns on a 3-year deal. He was already a Laker. He just is re-signing.
Yeah, didn't provide much or contribute.
He wasn't one of the ones that LeBron didn't want anymore.
Yeah. The ones that LeBron didn't want are not there. He was like, wait, Alex Caruso? The Devil's Lettuce? Marijuana? Gone.
And then as you were saying, the Heat,
yes,
while all of this is going on, are quietly in the background. They're getting Kyle Lowry on a sign-and-trade deal.
Yep.
Jimmy Butler agrees to a max contract extension.
Good for him. Good.
Duncan Robinson agrees to a 5-year extension. PJ Tucker agrees to a 2-year deal.
Congrats, champ. Just won a championship with Giannis and the Bucks.
Victor Oladipo is going to return.
Victor from Home Depot.
Gabe Vincent agrees. I don't know who that is.
Yeah, anyway.
And then Markieff Morris is going to be there.
Which is
one of the twins.
What's his name? What's this one that just left the Lakers?
Markeith
and Marcus. What did one just play for Lakers?
Yeah, one of them did. It was
Okay. Marquise, right?
It might have been.
Yeah, or no, the other one. Yeah.
And then Dwayne Dedman, I believe, was a Laker.
I have no idea.
So Miami's slowly in the background.
Yeah, they're
doing
quietly
things.
doing shit behind the scenes.
New York Knicks are trying to do some things.
They're trying to go after fucking. I know that Damian Lillard for the Portland Trailblazers said that he hasn't said anything about wanting to be traded, not demanding it, but if he had to leave, his number one spot would be the New York Knicks. I don't know why anybody would want to go to New York, but I get it.
It's because the what is the market? It's the biggest market, right? LA and New York are the biggest markets, right?
Yeah, and I saw something the other day, and I've seen this a few times. Is they
get more money in big markets?
Well, they say at this point in time, it really doesn't matter anymore.
But market-wise,
the market doesn't really matter anymore, just because of social media and how
That
big
makes
the
sense.
internet is.
That makes sense.
So, like, these small market teams like Milwaukee are able to draw people in.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, and they earned their viewership too. Oh, by the way, I saw a thing earlier. Said the Milwaukee Bucks, title run spiked COVID numbers super high. And I'm like, well, of fucking course they did. When you had a standing crowd of 60,000 people right outside the stadium during the games, whether they were home or away during the finals, you had 20 during away games. The game 5 was the game 5 where the Bucks won the championship.
Game 6.
Game 6. They had 60 fucking thousand people standing like it was a fucking rock concert outside jumbotrons and like it was like a convention with fucking food booths and all that shit.
Yeah.
But of course, the stadium only holds like 17,000 people, and you have 60,000 standing outside. You don't think COVID numbers are going to spike? Like, come the fuck on, you know?
Okay, yeah, exactly. And so these are the ones that are all leaving at this point. Costas Antetokounmpo was not re-signed.
Oh, that sucks.
Devontae Kayak was not re-signed. Alec Caruso, obviously. Andre Drummond was not. Jared Dudley was not. Wesley Matthews was not. Ben McElmore was not. Markieff Morris, the one who signed.
Okay, Marcus and Markieff, right?
And then Dennis Schroeder. They didn't sign him either.
I've always called him Dennis Scrotum for some reason. I don't know why.
But yeah, no.
It makes more sense.
He didn't resign, and they waived Alfonso McKinney.
Oh, Alfonso McKinney came in for the Dubs, the Warriors, and helped us a lot a couple years ago.
Yeah, they waived him, and then didn't re-sign the other ones that I just listed.
That's wild. And back to the Heat and Jimmy Butler, who signed a max contract. Like, congrats, Jimmy. You've earned it. Like, you're a fucking dog. And me and Big Mike over here have talked about it a million times. And Big Mike's been, the one that's been like, Jimmy Butler is a motherfucking dog. Like, he is a fucking dog. Like, every sense of the word. But if you don't know Jimmy Butler's story, this motherfucker was put out by his mom when he was young. Lived, like, kicked out, homeless, lived in a car, was bummy as shit, like, legit homeless, and made himself into what he is today, signing a max contract for, I believe, $173 million, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me, but congrats to Jimmy Butler, dude. You deserve it. You've earned it. Like Josh Jacobs is the running back for the Raiders. The Las Vegas Raiders.
184.
184. Hey, fuck yeah. Get your chicken, as Beast Mode would say. You know, to quote Marshawn Lynch, get your chicken. You feel me?
On a side note, I'm looking at the transactions.
Okay.
Mike Conley still fucking plays?
Yeah.
Motherfucker be out
For
here
the
like
Jazz.
40 years old.
The Jazz, right?
Yeah, I
How
didn't
old is
realize
he?
he was.
I'll look it up.
I looked it up. He's 33. He'll be 34 in October.
Wow. So almost 40? Bro, you're because
I'm
in
about
my
to be
head.
30.
I'm about to be 36, motherfucker. Am I fucking pushing 50 in your eyes?
Well, when I saw his name, I was like, this motherfucker got to be almost 40. Like, I feel like Mike Conley's been around like
He's a journeyman.
forever.
He's a Fitzmagic in a sense. He's a journeyman.
Oh, he's a good player. I just didn't
Great.
realize that he was. I in my head, like, you know, sometimes you're like, man, that guy been around for so long. He's got to be.
Yeah, he's gonna
And
be
then you're
105, and you're like, he's 28. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
That's what I did with Mike Conley right there. I was like, this motherfucker's still playing?
It's like Dwight Howard's still playing. Like,
Yeah, that.
Ah.
Not even just off his age, his
game.
play.
Well, when he was with Orlando, he was superb. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh, yeah.
So
We
he
all
was
thought, when he was in Orlando, everybody said he was the next Shaq. The next coming of Shaq.
he said he was the next Superman, and Shaq was like, no, I'm a
Well, even analysts were like, he could be the next Shaq. He's blah, 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 blah,
Well,
blah. And then,
the NBA dunk competition, when he was dunking off in, and then he had a forklift come out with another hoop, and it went up to 12 feet instead of 10 feet, and he dunked, but he pulled his shit off and had a Superman shirt and cape.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm Superman. And Shaq was like, no, this ain't Shaq. Or it's Superman. I'm Superman. Don't ever call yourself Superman. You're a super motherfucker. No, he didn't say that, but you know what I'm saying? Like, no.
So, wow, Giannis is Superman now.
Yep. And Shaq, that's
For Shaq to pass that on, that's huge.
Shaq Diesel. What was the Shaq
fucking
Shaq
Shaq's
Fu
name.
Shaq Fu? He's got like 50 fucking different nicknames, but the Superman nickname, every custom car he's had, which is every car because he has some of them all custom made, has always had a fucking Superman symbol.
Do you want to
somewhere.
hear the list of nicknames they
Yes,
have for this guy?
after this. Hold on. Sorry. Every fucking vehicle he's had, he's got the Superman logo tattooed on him. He is Superman. So when Dwight Howard came out, took off his fucking jersey or whatever, and had Superman cape and dunked, he was like, that's not Superman. I'm Superman. He's disrespectful. All this shit, right? But Giannis won the championship, and Shaq said, you know what? It's time for me to pass the crown. Giannis Antetokounmpo is the new Superman. I was like, what? Hold the phone. Like, Shaq, that's Shaq's nickname, you know? Anyways, let's hear this list, Big.
It's a long
hey.
fucking list.
Fucking let's end it with that, then.
So, Big Shamrock,
Mm-hmm.
Diesel,
From when you played with the Celtics. That's
Yeah.
when you got the name. Okay.
Diesel,
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Shaq,
He's got a PhD.
Manny Shacquiao,
That's awesome.
Mayor McShack,
Yeah.
Osama bin Shaq.
Should have been Osama bin Shackton or something.
That's what.
Yeah, gotcha.
Shaq is technically one of his nicknames because his name is Shaquille.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Shaq Daddy,
Okay.
Shaq Fu,
Yep.
Shakovich, Superman.
Mm-hmm.
This one he gave himself. I remember this one. I think it was when he was with the Suns. The Big Aristotle.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, there's the Big Agave,
Yeah. Agave's from Tequila.
the Big Leprechaun,
From Boston Celtics.
The Real Deal, Wilt Cambreezy, like the Big Shactus. That was from the Suns too, I believe.
100%.
Yeah, like the fuck. Like, where does he come up with these?
Look, I've got a handful of, like, when people say, that's my spirit animal, you know, it's not spirit animal, but I have a handful of people that I want to meet and hang out with and just be fucking friends with because of their personalities. One is Shaquille O'Neal. Believe it or not, Gilbert Arenas, Hibachi, Agent Zero, you know. T motherfucking Payne, buy you a drink, bartender, fucking in love with a stripper. And I'd love to hang out with Mike Tyson. But there's, I'm trying to think of who the other one was. I just thought of it, and I can't think of it right now. But there's a few celebrities that I was like, damn, like, these people have such a fucking crazy personality they'd be amazing to just be around.
Shaq,
You know,
like honestly, like in videos when he pranks people and people mess with him, and
one of my favorite people in the whole world, dude.
he just looks like he can take a joke and be a funny motherfucker.
And he'd pick you up, bear hug you, and pick you up over his head.
Yeah, Shaq he seems like one of those guys.
Gilbert Arenas' fucking humor. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, his humor when you owe him money after a fucking.
Yeah, but that was different though. Dude made a threat, and he was joking when he did that in the locker room. It got blown out of proportion. The guns, but Dave motherfucking Chappelle.
Oh, funny.
Oh my god, the best. I don't give a fuck who's listening and what you think. Dave Chappelle is the funniest comedian. He's the GOAT of comedy. Michael Jordan's a GOAT of basketball. You know, like, and Mike Tyson would be cool to hang out with too. You know what I'm saying? But if you don't piss him off, which is it's a thin line to walk. But anyways,
What happens when you get punched in the head that many times?
shit. Well, fucking Muhammad Ali, got Parkinson's from that shit. Like R.I.P. and Muhammad Ali not talking shit. That shit's wild. But shout out to the Nelk Boys on YouTube. I just bought merch for me and my son, and they did a collab with Mike Tyson, and I cannot wait to get them shirts. And hopefully, get the punching bag that's autographed from Mike Tyson. But Nelk Boys on YouTube, y'all motherfuckers are killing it. Steve will do it. Crazy. Anyways, we done for the night, Big? We're wrapping the shit up? Good? You want to wrap it up? What's up?
Yeah, we wrap it up.
So, thank you everybody for listening. I know we babble on with some intoxicated talk sometimes, and we appreciate each and every one of you. Please like, subscribe, share, comment. That bullshit algorithm on YouTube. To our foreign listeners, thank you. All that shit. But this has been another episode of the Big and Blues Podcast, episode 12. Till next week, peace.